how do I say this? It's kind of like in baseball. They're going to try to manufacture runs. They're going to play small ball a little bit on offense. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. All things pro, college, video game football, anything related to American football, we discuss on the show right now. Please, 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 please subscribe. Please hit that red subscribe button. Make it gray. Like, comment, share, subscribe, anything like that. I really appreciate all of the engagement. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I've obviously got amazing opinions, okay? My opinions are mostly right. However, I am humble enough. I am arguably the most humble human being alive. I am the humble enough to admit when I am incorrect. There are a couple things that I knew. I knew that the Jets weren't going to be good. A lot of people are like, oh, they got so much talent. Like Robert Saleh, rookie quarterback, super tough division, just wasn't going to happen. I did not see what was going to happen with the Dolphins happening. I thought that they were going to be a little bit more competitive than they are. I absolutely knew that Deshaun Watson, nobody's going to touch that with a 2,000-foot pole. I thought that the Seahawks were going to be a little bit better than they were. Obviously, with the Russ injury, they're 3-5 heading into that bye week. Now, the crazy thing is they're actually still in the playoff hunt right now, just because they have a bye week. Russ is going to come back, and the NFC is just kind of a crapshoot right now. But one of the more incorrect things I had, one of the more incorrect opinions that I had, was how well the New Orleans Saints were going to do. So boom, we check out the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Bucks this last week. And again, this was at New Orleans. This game absolutely just made no sense. Jameis Winston goes out. He finishes the game 6 of 10 for 56 yards, 1 touchdown, and a QBR of 94.7, 108 rating. Tom Brady, 375 and 4 touchdowns. Had 2 interceptions, but ultimately you see down there 32 carries for 152 yards by the rushing attack. So you see Jameis had some rushing attack. Mark Ingram, Deontay Harris, Trevor Siemian had 2 yards, and that's not very much. Alvin Kamara had 61, and then you see here with the Tampa Bay, Ronald Jones had 3 for 13. Giovanni Bernard had 2 for 30. One of them was 24 yards, so he had a big run and then a 6-yard run. Leonard Fournette, 3.3. They really held them down in the running game, threw the ball a lot. I mean, you come down here and check it out, too. David Onyemata and Trevor Siemian both recovered fumbles. Trevor Siemian recovered his own fumble, obviously. But then you come down here and see it, man. I mean, DeMario Davis had himself a QB hit. Quan Alexander had a QB hit. They did really, really well, man. P.J. Williams had an interception for a touchdown. C.J. G.J. had a interception for 26 yards. That was really flipped the game. So if you check out their schedule, man, they are one aberration loss to the Giants in overtime, away from being, 6-1 right now. Had that one very surprising week 1 win against the Packers, lost to the Panthers, beat the Patriots at New England, beat the football team, beat the Seahawks in Seattle, and then beat the Buccaneers last week. So what gives with this team right now? I actually want to highlight something that's very important. I think that on the polar opposites of things, we always fall in love with whoever the quarterback is. We don't consider the rest of the team. So in this instance, that's the reason why I think that the Chiefs and the Saints show that you can win in 2 different ways. The Chiefs are winning right now, I think, in spite of their offensive line. Okay, their offensive line is forcing Patrick Mahomes to run all over the place. Patrick Mahomes is also not playing well. I think that's because his internal clock is being sped up. They can't really pass protect very well. Meanwhile, on the other side, for the Saints have, Jameis Winston, who I do not believe in as a quarterback. I know he had 33 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. He also had 30 picks. But again, he has played surprisingly well early on in the season. However, obviously, he is out the rest of the year. Trevor Siemian's coming in. But the thing about this team, don't really have a dynamic threat on the outside. They've got solid running backs. They have a solid offensive line. Ryan Ramczyk, their right tackle right now, is playing like he is one of the best offensive linemen in the league. But again, you have to remember here is that this team has some things battling against them. I want to go to an article really quickly, kind of articulating what's going on with them and what they need to look forward to. So here we go. Where does the loss of wide receiver Michael Thomas leave the New Orleans Saints now and beyond by Mike Triplett? Basically states right here that Jameis Winston's out, then Michael Thomas is out, and they've lost 2 of their biggest offensive stars to injuries for the remainder of the season over the past 4 days. The only saving grace right now is that the Saints were depending more heavily on their defense, running game, and offensive line during their impressive 5-2 start to the season. They have proved that they can win in other ways while ranking 31st in the league, ranked higher than only the Chicago Bears with 180.9 passing yards per game. So here's a question they have right here. Will Michael Thomas be back with the Saints in 2022? Thomas is due $15.8 million in bonuses in 2022, and his base salary of $15.35 is guaranteed. So there's no real incentive to release him, and his trade value could be affected by the size of the salary and the time it missed with his injury. So he's due a total of $51.95 in the final 3 years of his contract from 2022 to 2024, only with next year guaranteed. They said here, and again, there was some issues with Michael Thomas and Sean Payton before, but it says right here, however, the tension seems to have simmered in recent months. Thomas was on the sideline during the Sunday's 36-24 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Caesars Superdome. There's been no indication that either side is blaming the other for the latest injury setback. Both sides spoke favorably of the other Wednesday. Thomas wrote in a statement, "The team and I have worked diligently in the past day and night to rehab and get me back on the field," and Sean Payton stressed multiple times that Thomas was working his tail off and setback isn't anything he can control. One other obvious reason the Saints might not want to trade Thomas, he's one of the NFL's best receivers when healthy, and the cupboard of receivers remains extremely bare at that position. Currently, Traquan Smith is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent next year. Where do the Saints turn at wide receiver? They could potentially look outside, especially the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham winds up being released. ESPN's Kimberly Martin reported Tuesday that the Saints and the Browns had discussions about a possible deal before Tuesday's trade deadline, but they could not reach an agreement because of how much money Beckham is owed. However, Payton said that Saints did homework only on potential trade candidates at all positions, adding, "There never was any. We got down to the wire and just couldn't agree on the price." So Sean Payton, and again, he's kind of coming to bat for his receivers right there. They're basically saying that their best receiver, like you said, Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Kenny Stills is a backup, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Kevin White, not a very star-studded group. But you see here, look at these guys are tough, competitive, and I like them. He said, "I'm not interested in your PFF, Pro Football Focus grades or any of that other stuff. I like this group." Payton was being kind, however. In addition to the lack of passing yards, the Saints ranked second to last in NFL completion percentage and dead last in receptions by wide receivers per game, 7.9, and receptions by tight ends per game, 2.4. It's still unclear who will be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta when they play the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday. It looks like it's going to be Trevor Siemian and or Taysom Hill. So the Saints go, man. They've Trevor Siemian, and it might be Taysom Hill. They still got the ability to be a Wildcat. They're going to, how do I say this? It's kind of like in baseball. They're going to try to manufacture runs. They're going to play small ball a little bit on offense. They're like, listen, we got a running game. We got a defense. We got an offensive line. We're going to lean on people. We're going to control the clock. We're not going to be a big dynamite down the field passing game, as much as Sean Payton likes that sort of thing. Although in the last couple of years with Drew Brees, they didn't exactly threaten the ball downfield. But there was this report that actually came out that's a little crazy. So, Pro Football Focus, the Browns plan on releasing OBJ on Friday per Pro Football Talk. So, they mentioned that, I think the OBJ right now OBJ is like that one guy that every single team is like, oh, we could totally add OBJ. We could totally add OBJ. A lot of the fans are saying that. Now, again, I don't know here. I do know this, that Baker Mayfield, and you can put this on Baker, you can put this on OBJ, I don't know. But Baker Mayfield, when he has targeted OBJ during his tenure with the Browns, he's thrown 8 interceptions to him and 6 touchdowns. So OBJ, okay, one of the best receivers we know. He lights the league up. He's one of the most explosive receivers in the league when he plays like you think OBJ can play. These last couple of years, he hasn't really done that. So it's been really kind of grinding at him. So let me ask you this. This is where the fans, all the fans want everybody to sign OBJ. But the front offices are a little bit more skeptical about that. Nobody traded for him. Keep in mind, nobody traded for him. They might not have traded for him because they think this might happen. But who knows, man? But I know that OBJ might be available. So the Saints could get some help there. Go play with Trevor Siemian. They would be a run-first team. OBJ would be switching from a run-heavy team in Cleveland to a run-heavy team in New Orleans. Trevor Siemian is not going to sit back and throw for 350 a game. No offense to your boy Trevor. Okay, no offense. But this right here, I don't think would save the team, but I do know that this is something that the team more than likely is definitely looking into right now. So I was way wrong about the Saints. Okay, they have outperformed themselves in terms of what I thought they could do. But again, they're doing it in different ways that other teams expect. A lot of people think, get the quarterback out and figure everything else out. Well, this team, while they have a good nucleus around that quarterback, receivers are a little weaker, okay, obviously. But remember, there were many years in New England when the Patriots weren't necessarily super strong on the outside, but they could run the ball, they had a strong offensive line, and they had a strong defense, and they won a ton of games. I think that's what the Saints are going to try and do, continuing going forward. All right, get in the comments right now. What do you guys think of the Saints? Are they good? Are they bad? What other big surprises that you have? What other big disappointments are there so far? Let me know. Get those comments and get after it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, anything like that. I really appreciate it. But I will see y'all on Monday. I am out.